So to not really waste our time, this is our colleague Frank from Loughton College. We asked him a long time ago to deliver his famous masterclass to share his experience with us on using certain tools in a classroom that he believes that it's very helpful for every teacher. We are very happy to have him today. And Frank, the floor is yours. Later on, we will ask you, we will talk to you, but let's start with your masterclass.
I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah.
I had some difficulties with Zoom, so but I hope all the hiccups are away right now. So with no further ado, I would like to actually start. I have to take a look in how I can share my screen. Yeah, I can share my screen like this. Let's see. Nope. If all is good, you should see my screen right now.
No.
We still don't. So if you go down to then green, this green stuff to share should be.
Let's see. Share. Yeah.
Yes, it's coming up.
Well, if all is good, you can see my screen right now. I will click you away here. Yeah. Like Mirsada already told me a long time ago, EFIT or some people from the EFIT asked me to do a short masterclass on Xete. And well, I said yes in a wild way and or in a wild mood, and eventually all came together, and now I'm here. So let's start. So what I would like to explain you today is actually the what, the who, the why, the how, and show you a bit of my stuff because, well, at the end of the day, we all like to brag a bit about things that we do good or think that we do good. So that's me as well. So behold the mystical layout of this day's journey. Those are the subjects. First of all, I would like you to know what Xete is. Anyone working with Xete that is now within this meeting?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So, thanks
Nope.
a lot. As a smart teacher, I would now ask, okay, I did ask if anybody was working, and I only hear no. So what didn't you understand on my question, Toh? But I'm just kidding now, because you're saying that you're not working with it. So what is Xete? It's actually a free and open web source. It's a server-based authoring tool that you can create, well, teaching materials, and there's like unlimited access to everything, and also unlimited access to for everyone. That's actually the base rule of Xete, that it's free, accessible for everyone who wants to use it within education. And that's the only thing you have to sign for as well. So when people ask me what is Xete, is actually a tool in which you can make websites for educational purposes. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And it has some really clever and smart tools to, well, not demotivate your students in like one click, because you can like hide text and show text, and well, I'll show you later on. By the way, if you have any questions, just ask. So if we're making a Wordle on Xete, this would be some of the words that would like explain Xeta in just small words. University of Nottingham is actually on this board because Xeta was like, I think it was a project that they started in 2004, and they wanted to create a World Wide Web with educational websites which you can use. So they started it, and nowadays, a lot of schools work with it, but it's very based on Great Britain, Germany, and Benelux as well. And Southern Europe, you see some schools that work with it, some universities work with it, but not that much or that many, sorry. So I already told you about who started with it, and they also still are working on it. So once in a while, I think 2-3 times a year, you have updates on Xeta. And the best thing is that these developers, they don't charge you anything for it. They just want you to share it. So yes, it does exist. People do share, and people do not always ask money for that. These are some of the universities, high schools, colleges that work with it now at this moment. For example, also the University of Utrecht and Wageningen for our Dutch listeners, but also a lot of British and German schools as well. And of course, here we are, Deltion College. Well, why do we use it, or why should you consider it? In my opinion, the best way for using it is because it gives you flexibility. Because when someone or a student isn't capable of attending your classes, he or she can also always see what you did and where he or she should work on. It's a multimedial approach, so you can input movies in it, or short texts, or do uploads on PDF files. So you could actually just use Xeta to show your paper bags as well, your written, for example, books that you use for your classes. It's not really the purpose of Xeta, but eventually you could do that as well. So you could also use it as a database. You could give direct feedback to students through Xeta. You can also do tests on Xeta. It's really, the thing is, I started with this like 1.5 years ago, and I haven't even found out like 10% of what the capabilities of Xeta within your educational or vocational studies are actually. It gives a lot of variation. You let students or younger adults, you let them work on their digital literacy. And at the same time, it gives you a lot of freedom, because the structure of every class could be your Xeta. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. And you can like let students focus on a really small subject, for example, because you can make like one Xeta page with a link, and you could like link all Xetas to each other as well, so students go through all the Xetas. Any questions yet? If I don't hear anything, I'll just continue.
Yeah, continue. You're saying you're going great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, still doing great. Woohoo.
You're doing excellent.
So how and what do you do with Xeta? I tried to explain that, but how do you make it? How do you use it? And I'm going to show you some small examples as well. Maybe it's good to like show this actually this timeline, because you make it through searching. You have a question, an educational question, and then you start designing it. You deliver content. Eventually, you build. After you build, you start reviewing, and of course, after reviewing with colleagues, etc., you share. And after you worked with it with students, you immediately, you should do like ask some feedback from the students, and eventually you start revising on like a 2.0 version of your initial website or etc. That's how you do it in normal education as well. So this should seem really familiar to any teacher that's here today. So these are actually the 5 steps. So you have like before class, self-education, after class, differentiation, and also just-in-time teaching. So for example, before class, you prepare, you do create precognition. So you start to value, okay, how is everybody within this subject? And you ask questions, of course. And then with Xete, it's really simple because everyone can do the differentiation on its own, because you just describe where he or she has to be within a couple of hours, a couple of minutes, a couple of weeks, a couple of days. That's yours to decide. And eventually people can go on their own pace. And what you can decide is which information, for example, you would like to share with them in order for them to eventually have the skills that you want them to have after a couple of weeks or minutes. Sounds really theoretical, but when we take a look, I'll take a look at Xete, I'll come back to this subject as well. And of course, after classes, you start to take a look at, okay, what else can I put in? So there could be like room for in-depth study, etc. So it gives you a lot of possibilities to work on. So you can differentiate, you could just use it because you didn't do anything for your preparation, but you could also like start a self-educational study for your for a part of your study or a part of a vocational study, etc. These are some principles that actually with every website you should use them, but also with Xete. So you should use CRAP. That's what it says. Use CRAP because that's contrast, repetition, proximity, and alignment. And what that means is, okay, always know what colors you use. So contrast you use in creating a website. Always use a lot of repetition. So people, and especially students, young adults, they need to have a lot of repetition in order to, okay, so they have to have their own eureka momentjes, as we say them in Dutch. So moments that they have like the light bulb above their head going on. And you create that, or you can create it with repetition. And of course, proximity. So whenever you're talking about a movie, or you're talking about a short film that they have to see, be sure that the explanation is already or always just next to it. Yep. And alignment, of course, because you want like things to look really tranquil and well, not like messy or not structured. So use alignment right. But that's also with like an essay or whatever. So now let's have a look at some Xetes like in front office, and we later on have a look in Xete, the program, how it looks in back office. So for example, this is just a Xete that shows, this is another way of doing Xete. This is more of Xete that you can use whenever you want to do, like, for example, a test or a pub quiz, or make students scroll through questions, etc. And this one is 93 pages, so I'm not going to show every one of you, but this actually takes you through the progress or the process of making Xete. By the way, I'll share my presentation, and all the Xetes are also available to see and use after the presentation. So because eventually it's all about sharing. As I sometimes make jokes, sharing is caring. In this way, it really is caring, because, well, you take care of a teacher somewhere in Europe, because it's still Europe based. So this is like this, well, quite easily gets a bit lazy as well, because you just have to click buttons and read. So this is a way of giving a lot of information that's not necessarily very nice to see or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I just clicked it away right now. That's really smart, Enzerink. I'll just bring it back, of course. Yeah, here you are again. So that was just to show you that Xeta has many layers, or actually 2 or 3 big types of projects. It's called a bootstrap or a XOT. This one I think is this one was the XOT, and we're not going to take a look at a bootstrap. A bootstrap looks more websitey. So this is actually an introduction of a Xeta bootstrap template, which you all can use because it's on the Xeta page as well, of the founders of the University of Nottingham, and it's actually giving you all the possibilities that you can that you have with using Xeta. And as you can see, it also acts the same as a website. Yeah. Okay, let's continue, because I have a couple of other Xetas that I would like to show you as well. These are especially, yeah, could be quite interesting Xeta. You've already seen the Xeta on yeah, our profile unit, which is actually a travel Xeta, or for the educational study of travel and hospitality. This one is another one. This one we use during the second years, and what students always do is like they just scroll and they don't know how to like focus on any type of information. So what Xeta really smart does is that they, if you want them to have some information that they could eventually take a look at, you could make like this click button. And if you do a click button, well, a lot of information or other information appears, but that's something that you don't want them to see, because if all these things were open for a 16-year-old, people, or especially 16, 17, 18 years, they would go crazy, because there's a lot of text, or actually too much text, and they will, well, eventually or quite quickly start blocking all the information that's there, and eventually don't start with what you want them to start with. So in this way, with having these tabs, you could do like an introduction. You have learning goals, and of course, you should build this. And also, I created this not by knowing, but just by trying, actually. Yeah, and for some people, this is maybe more difficult to start, but eventually, everybody knows how to work with PowerPoint nowadays, and I guess a couple of you guys just never did like a study or a masterclass or whatever on PowerPoint. You just started working with it, and eventually, well, it works for you, and you know, from like uh, you work from a basis structure, and then eventually you build up, and well, it's like a big win whenever you put your first video within the presentation. And nowadays, most of the people, well, they know how to do that. So don't hesitate. If you think that this could work for you, just start. That's actually what I would like you to remember from the whole masterclass. Because whenever you start, you could motivate other people to start as well, and eventually you build a bigger community. I don't have any shares in Xerte because they're, well, I would have if they did, but it's just a non-profit organization, so that's why I don't. For example, the multi-purpose of use, I also have Xerte on internships, which is quite nice. I'm going to show that to you as well. This is the Xerte. Sorry for my international friends of FET. This one is in Dutch because, well, we also teach some Dutch stuff as well. So this is like regular info. If you want to search for a internship, the possibilities of internships, well, with travel, leisure, and hospitality, there are some possibilities. For example, front office. You have hotels abroad. You have guided tours. You have working in a holiday park. You have travel organization or tour operator where you can work. You also have events and event management maybe. And I put with every every type of industry, I put a small trailer or a video with it as well. So it's not always about reading. Sometimes just by letting them see something that can work as well. So that's how you should play with Xerte and how you can play with Xerte. And the biggest win-win situation is that a student can, well, they can like go to your class, they can see the Xerte, you explain something from the Xerte, but whenever they're at home, they can still see like the same stuff that you explained to them. And eventually, well, this is a small help in how they can do like solicitations with a company that is within within well, the Netherlands or also international. This is a big problem nowadays because well, our students in the Netherlands, they don't like to call anymore, but they should. Well, I think they should as actually, but well, they don't like it because it's, well, too confrontating when people, well, can say no or whatever. We also have some forms and regulations on a lot of countries where they go. For example, we also always ask students to do the POC-aanvraag or practice agreement. So if you take a look at the practice agreement, then they can scan like a QR code and then they can ask for their practice agreement online, and it will automatically go to the internship coordinators in their mailbox, for example. And you don't have to like do all these paper stuff anymore. This is a nice way of showing something as well, because well, there's a lot of different things that students could be dealing with within another country, talking about internships. So I hide every specific information about a country. I hide behind a button, and you only tick on the button when you think, okay, well, Curacao is interesting for me, or Spain is interesting for me. Well, especially with Spain, the NI number is quite important. So it's a link with the NI number, and also how to use or how to get a NI number. Some good internships places, some mediation agencies. For example, Canada, there we have some really good, cool internships as well. This is actually explaining in Dutch and some English, I see, how you can get like a work permit in Canada. That's actually because I'm also the BPV or the internship coordinator. It's giving me free time because well, I did, of course, do the writing of the Xerte, but I asked students to help me because, well, one student went to Canada and asked, okay, could you describe for me how the process of asking for a work permit goes? And she sends me a mail, and well, I divide that in steps, and eventually it comes here. Any questions? Still not.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're noting them down for the end.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Is it a good way or a good thing that I would show you that I can show you the backside of Xeta as well? Should I let you take a look at that?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be technical and boring because it's, well, everything is like focused for front office as always. So the backside is really boring. This I want, well, if some people is here and say, okay, this is not for me, this is my gesture to you. Growth is always uncomfortable, but so is staying somewhere you've outgrown. So I hope that this, well, takes you through the day today. Let's see. I'm going to share. No. This is actually what Xeta looks like in the back office. And of course, this is focused on the Dutch way of Xeta. You can still register for Xeta. You should just go to Xeta, I think, .organization.uk, and then you can register as a school, and then the school can like decide if they want to be a part of the Xeta group or organization, and in that way you can work in Xeta as well. And of course, as I said, it's totally free. So for example, I just made some maps, or FACNL is just about like travel education within the Netherlands. We have study trips, we have BPV, as we call internships. We also have our team plan that is in Xeta, so people can take a look at it as well. We also have like our plan for the students, every year plan we have in Xet as well. So students make use of that as well, because all the information about the educational studies that we teach them is over in a team plan or a educational plan as well. So let's just click an English-based Xet. And well, here it says, okay, do you want to play it? Do you want to copy it? Do you want to share it or publicate it? Or do you want some extra information? Or do you want to subscribe another user? That's everything that you can do. And here they say, okay, you want to enhance it or change it? Let's take a look. So as I said, it's pretty boring. You can do all these adjustments, of course, with colors. This is my background color because I like it. It's tranquil. It's not too shouty. I already am quite shouty, so I had to have something that is really tranquil within my class. So that's why I built this Xeta, I think. That was not serious. As you can see, there are many subjects, but it's just building layers upon layers. It's actually just like a painting. So this one is the header. So this one is like the big picture of every page that you first of all show. And there are all these things that you can do. For example, you can say, okay, this one I click and I want to copy it.
Frank, I don't think, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't think I am seeing what you are showing because the screen is froze for me. I don't know for others.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I'm still in the menu where you can ask for information or share or play and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share it
you.
again and take a look at it if it works right now. Thanks, by the way, Federico.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. Okay.
Yep.
So let's go back then. No, I don't want to. Yep. So this is actually the home page of the back office of Xete. And here you see all these buttons. Is it still okay? Still working? Yeah, otherwise you would say yes, no. So when you want to enhance something of this Xete or any other Xete, for example, I have an English version on this one as well. No study trips are only in Dutch. So the IT Trex version that you already got as an example in the mail. I want to enhance something, and I say, no, I don't want to enhance this. As you can see, these are all the big template, the top bladen as we call them, or the tabs. If I want to change something, for example, on the tab of Asia, I have all these sub tabs or maps, which is a lot of information, of course. But you could just use some of the templates that they give you from Xete and just start building. And whenever you get confident with it, you'll just start trying and trying. And sometimes it goes wrong and you go back to like an earlier edition and then you can try again. Because, well, most of the time everything gets is being put in the cloud, of course, and it's saved. But you should save after everything that you do, because in that way you never have to like, well, throw a lot of the things that you do away. So, for example, okay, we want to put in a photo, and in well, you have like Thailand floating market. This is everything you do yourself. You're building yourself. So I make these maps, and these maps, they give me structure, and eventually I'm going to say, okay, I want to put in a photograph of Egypt within the set of Asia, which is really weird, so I'm not going to do that. But I have pictures of Asia as well, so you can put this within etc. And eventually, if I click double right now, it would be here. I'm not going to do that because then I have to enhance the etc. again, of course. After everything that every little thing that you change, you just say save or duplicate, and then you can say, okay, I want to take a look at how this looks, and then you say, let's see. And for example, talking about Asia, yes, this is the floating market picture that I just put in. So that's actually how Xete works. And of course, I'm not going to like show you or be able to show you everything. But this is actually the basis on how it works and how it gives you or could give you a lot of free time, because every structure of every class, of every lesson that you can teach could already be in Xete before you start the year. This is actually our basis. This is our book. And we can also always say to students, okay, did you read the book or did you read Xete? It's on that and that or that page. What's also a good thing that you could do, for example, especially when you show them or teach them skills instead of a lot of knowledge. Let's see. I always do a tab of good practices within my Xete, because in this way, it's not actually cheating when students take a good look at someone who does something really good. And in this way, you can also let students focus on what type of behavior, what type of end product, final product you want to see. For example, These are all things that former students made, so they can see what they should be capable of eventually. Well, magazines a bit big, so I'm not going to show you magazines, but for example, yeah, just do a UNESCO reader.
Frank, I'm
this
stuck. I'm stuck to the page.
again.
Yep, again. I'm sorry.
Okay. I think it's the problem that sometimes you get like they make another top blot, and then I'll just quit sharing and then share again, because then it's on another page, and then you could, or have to be possible to, do you see it right now?
Yes, UNESCO
Yep.
readers.
So
Yes.
for example, a good practice of one of our students, and of course this is in Dutch, sorry for that, but well, he put a picture of himself in it within the building of Deltion, which is really funny. But this is what some or a student made. They have to be able to put UNESCO World Heritage sites within a, well, some sort of a ComFarm magazine or whatever. In this way, they specialize in some subjects on, for example, in this case, the United States. So this student did a couple of UNESCO sites. He looked for pictures. He looked for some explanation on the UNESCO site. Why is it on a UNESCO? And student that is looking at it right now, he or she can think, ah, that's quite good. I can do this as well because I have such a good example. So that's why I always use to make a button on good practices. I'm going to stop sharing right now, just for a while, because if you want to have one of my setters just as background information, of course, or have questions now or after the masterclass, you can always email me, of course.